I'm Merrill Eichenberger. Congratulations to you for buying the Automobile and Money-Making Opportunities program. This is the program that's really going to make you a lot of money and save you a lot of money. So now I'm going to go into some in-depth training with you to help you get started on the right way. So won't you join me inside my home, around my kitchen table, as we find out how you too can make a lot of money. Come on, let's go. Welcome to my kitchen. Well, this is where I do the work, at the kitchen table, and that's the place that you should be doing your work too. Take off my sunglasses here. You see that my wife prepared something for me to eat, so, or not to eat, but to drink anyway, so you might get thirsty too, so maybe you want to get something to drink while you're doing some of the work here with me. That tastes good. That feels good. Okay, some of the things that you're going to need to have available is your manual, Automobile Money-Making Opportunities. And now in the front of that manual, you'll find out that there's the letter that I sent you, congratulations letter. So I hope you all read that because we mean it sincerely. And then also you found your 1-year money-making, money savings guarantee. And as I said on television, we're guaranteeing that these methods will work for you just as well as they've worked for me over the years if you put them to work. And if you put them to work and don't make money, then just follow the instructions on this, send it back into me after using it for 12 full months. That means you get a full year to work this and make some money. And if you show us that you've done it and they haven't worked for you, we'll certainly buy the program back for you. That's how confident I am in this program working for you and making you a lot of money. Okay, let's go through a couple other things. Now you should have 3 cassette tapes in there. One on how to get your business started, and I'm going to do some of that for you today on video, but that'll help you get your program started very fast and get money flowing into you. Then the next one is how to set up your new car dealer network right over the telephone. And if you'll just follow this tape word for word, what I do on this tape, it'll work for you. I don't care where you are and what section of the country. These words, these methods will work for you, and you'll be able to set up your new car dealers right over the telephone and get your business rolling without ever leaving your home or going and seeing a new car dealer. Now, I'm not against you going and seeing a new car dealer. In fact, I think you should go down and meet some of the ones, especially in your local area, once you get your program rolling. But at first, you may be afraid to do that. You can do it right over the telephone, and you can do it from a dealer in your backyard clear across the United States. I've done that for years and years and years, and it will really work, and it'll work for you. Third audio tape then is how to detail for retail. And I put this is the same thing that's part on the videotape also, is the detail for retail tape. You can put into a Sony Walkman or something like that and put the earphones on while you're actually detailing your own car, which is the first car you should detail to learn this business. And this is a fabulous business. I don't care what age you are, You can make money if you know how to detail cars, trucks, buses, airplanes, boats. I mean, there's just any number of things that you can put this business to work on. And as I said again on TV, there's a franchise selling that teaches you how to do the same business that I'm giving you in my program, and they want $40,000 for that franchise. But it's a big money-making opportunity, one we've included as a special for you. Okay, the other thing I'll mention is the business cards, and I go into this in the manual a little bit, and I'm showing you a copy here. We'll give you a close-up here in a minute. This is a business card. The name of the business that I have for my car business is called Automobile Consultants International. And then I have Merrill, Eichenberger, my name right here in the front, and it says Automobile Consultant. Now, there's a couple of things important about this because people need to know about your business. So I designed a business card, and we put it to work several years ago that worked really well. Is a card that's more than just saying your name and your phone number and your address, but we turned it into an actual sales brochure. On the back of the card here it says, what is an automobile consultant? And then on the inside we designed it with a brochure telling what an automobile consultant is and how they work, and giving some examples of prices of automobiles that you're able to get for your clients, so they know exactly how it works. We even go into lease consulting on it, and it's a whole complete sales brochure, and I just invite you to take the printout that's in the sample that's in your manual and use that, put it to work, go down and have some of those made up. It won't cost you that much more than a regular business card, and it's a lot better because it becomes an invaluable sales tool for you. Okay, let's just take a look at some other things. Also put in some special forms for you. A personal consultation sheet, which is right here. We're going to go into that in just one moment, and I'm going to show you how that works. And this is designed so that you can put your own name or your company name at the top of it and reprint it. Feel free to copy this. And don't look at this as just a sheet of paper. This should be worth $15 to $20 to you every time you fill one of these out for a client. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. Then after that we have an out-of-stock sheet. And I simply devised this for people that want to buy a new car or a used car, but they want it out of stock, they want to buy it and drive it away today. You have to get that car out of stock. It's not something that you can special order. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So that form is in there, and again, you can duplicate that and make as many of those as you need. Then finally, the new vehicle purchase authorization sheet that you'll fill out for your client. We're going to fill one of those out today, so you'll understand how that works perfectly. And again, you can put your own name up there and fill those out. So there's quite a bit of things in here. Let me see, I think I missed something here. Oh yeah, here's just a sample of a brochure called Why Pay Retail. And if you just take this and fold this in thirds, and I've tried to make everything on 8.5 by 11 paper, so it's very easy for you to take and copy or reprint down at your local quick printer. It doesn't cost you very much. You don't have to get a whole bunch. You can get 100 at a time, really. And this is a very, very handy brochure for a couple of reasons: to give to your client, and also for you to fill out to find out what your client is really wanting to get. And it has the homework procedure inside, how this works for the client, what they need to do and bring back to you to help your job go easier, save them money, save you time, and make you some more money. So those are in there too, and feel free to use those however you want. Okay, the other thing that you're going to need in starting this business, and for the moment I'm going to assume that you're probably interested in either personally purchasing a new car or setting up a business in brokering new cars. Either way, one of the things that's going to be most essential in helping you get down the road quickest is to have a Kelley Blue Book new car price manual. Now this is a subscription basis. It comes out 6 or 7 times per year, and there's a certain way that you have to get this. This is not available to the general public. You cannot just go out on the public and buy this book, and the reason is because it lists every make of car that's made in the United States, and it gives the retail price of it and also the dealer's actual cost. So this is how that you know what the actual cost of the dealers is from all the options, and we're going to go through this in quite a bit of detail. And the other books that I also think is a good idea to get if you're interested in the used car market are the Kelley Blue Book Official Guide for Used Cars, and then they also have the Official Guide for Older Used Cars. And I never go any place without these. Wherever I travel, I have these in my pocket or my briefcase, so that I can refer to them, because that's one way that I know exactly what the market is in any city throughout the United States. Is as soon as I pick up a newspaper in a new city, I can go to the classified section on automobiles and start looking at the cars that I'm interested, which is BMWs and Mercedes and Porsches, Ferraris, things of that sort. And I look and I can find out immediately how they are priced accordingly to the market. Now, these books are designed for different regions throughout the United States. So if you live in the East Coast, they're going to be different than my books out on the West Coast. Quite frankly, a lot of people don't know this. The Northwest where I live, Portland, Oregon, and Seattle area, is probably two of the highest car markets in the United States. Southern California is one of the best car markets for purchasing cars and for selling cars, but the car prices are quite a bit lower down in California. Consequently, I buy a lot of cars from California and bring them back up to Oregon and sell. Another place to buy them right now, the kind of cars that I buy anyway, is the Texas area too, and some of the Midwest. So once you understand how these books work, and I go into that in more detail in the manual, you'll find that these are an essential help that you should have. Now, to get the subscription for these things, I've included in the front of the course the Kelley Blue Book Subscription Price Guide. Now, one of the things that they're very, very particular about is that when you send in your subscription for your Kelley Blue Books, you've got to send them along a business card. So that's why I put the business cards in there, and one of the first things that you should do for your new business is go out and get your business card made up, because if you send this form in without your business card, and your business card must say something automotive related, automobile consultant, automobile broker, whatever you determine that your name of your business is going to be, if you don't have that on there, they will not accept your subscription, and they'll just turn it back to you with your check. So I'm just trying to tell you that up front to save you a lot of time. And this is essential. I think this is about $73. Let me see. I think if I remember correctly, the new car manual, it's $74 per year. The used car manual, first subscription is $40. Second, an additional is $26. So I'm giving you this, and then each year they'll send you a new update or price and resubscription, so re-enrollment for your subscription. So these are essential things that you should have in learning the new car and used car market. Okay, let's just go right and start out at the beginning of the manual here. You'll see that I've divided this up into 14 or so different sections, starting out with brokering new cars and trucks. Now, this is a big, big business in America. As I said on television, in California alone, there's one new car sold every, 4 new cars sold every minute, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And in the United States, there's a new car sold every second, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. Now, that's a phenomenal amount. And what's even more exciting about that is the fact that, I see I got somebody calling. Cut. I got it on answering. That's okay. I got it on answering. We'll let the answering machine work it right now. Anyway, what's exciting about this is that those statistics I just gave you weren't even thinking about used cars, trucks, the figure I just gave you was about new cars, not even including trucks or RVs or motorcycles or things of that sort. And then when you come to the used car market, it's 4 times as big as the new car market. Now, quite frankly, I don't deal too much in new cars anymore because of the fact that they're getting so expensive. And really, there's a right way and a wrong way to buy a new car. If you do like new cars, then you've got to learn the correct way to buy them. And just to let the cat out of the bag real early, even though it's right here in the course, is the best way for you to buy a brand spanking new car is in the fall of the year when the new cars are introduced. That's the cheapest time that you can buy a brand new car. If you buy it at that time, you're buying it absolutely at the cheapest point, and they come out about a month after you see the dealers having the closeout sales, the liquidations, year-end inventory clearance, and they really say that we're selling them at dealer's invoice. And many times they are. So why isn't that a good buy? Well, the reason that is not a good buy is a couple of things. It's the highest price that model year car is ever going to be. You see, they raise the prices about 5 times per year. That's why they'll get about 5 editions of this blue book, because they raise the prices. The manufacturers raise their prices throughout the year. So at the end of the summer, they've got the highest prices that they'll ever be at that point, and the new cars are coming out in another 30 or 60 days, and the price difference between let's say a 1988 car and a 1989 car was only about 3% difference from the 88 car. So why would you want to buy a 1988 car when for 3% more you could buy a 1989 car with all the improvements, all the new things on it, plus the fact that you don't have that 1 year's depreciation. And as soon as that 1989 car hits the showroom floor, your 1988 car is going to go down. So why not make a good choice and buy that 1989 car? Because by December then of 1989, they raised the prices again of the 1989 cars. This is the third edition, and they've raised the prices one additional time already. So since they introduced the new cars back in the fall of 1988, the 1989 cars, they have already raised the prices a couple of times, and they'll do it some more. So that's why you want to order your 1989 car or your next year's new car. You order that car in July of the preceding summer, so that car is going to be ready for you in September or October when they come out and are announced. You've got your brand new car, you can drive it, and you drive it until July or August, and then you turn around and sell it. And the reason that you can sell it, and a lot of people will buy it at that time, is the fact that you'll be able to sell it lower than even what the dealers are talking about, because of the fact that the dealers have got a higher price car than what you bought back the September before. Now, I hope that's not confusing to you, and I'm going to try and put up some graphics so it won't be. But what I'm saying is if you buy a new car in September, in the fall of the year when they come out, so right now you would have bought a September at 88, you would have bought a 1989 car, you drive it until July or August of 1989, sell it, pick up your 1990 car in September of 1989. So you're always ahead. Now the advantage to doing this, if you buy the right car, and you buy it through the methods that I'm talking about in this program, the advantage is that you're going to have a new car with lower miles, and a lot of people out there like to buy a new, fairly new car with low miles on it. They figure that you've worked out all the bugs on it, and that's probably true. If you've had to go back for some warranty service or something of that sort, you've got those bugs worked out, and those new car warranties are transferable to that second owner. Therefore, if you're driving a new car and you turn around and sell it, there's a lot of buyers out there for that car with a few miles on it. They've made a good deal, you've made a good deal, and if you're driving a new car every year, most likely, in most cases, if you're buying the proper car, you can either make money or at least get your money back out that you had into that car, so you've essentially driven a new car free. And again, if you follow another one of my techniques, where you can buy that car with no down payment, and that simply is the fact that the bank wants to know how much of the car is being financed and what the security that the bank is in that automobile. So you can show that you're buying, let's say, a $20,000 retail car, but you're only that you only want to finance, let's say, 16 or 17,000 of that. In many cases, they'll let you have that car for no down payment. Now, even a better way to do it is if you can buy that car on a interest-only program for 1 year, so that you're only paying the interest on the value of the car for 1 year. Therefore, it lowers your payment down. You're not building up any equity in the automobile, but you are just paying interest, and that's a lower amount of payment to pay every month. And of course, you'll have to still pay your insurance and things of that sort. But that's another way to do it, and then turn around and sell the car. You probably get most of your interest money back on it. And another thing, if you're using this car as your demonstrator, then when you're out showing it to people and things of that sort, keep track of your mileage. I never take depreciation on a car to try and get a tax deduction that way. I take it on a per mileage basis, and I found that that's the best way to do it. And don't take 100%, take maybe 80 or 85%, but there again, I'll recommend that you see your own accountant for those purposes, and again, it depends on the miles you drive. If you do drive a lot of miles per year, then you may want to do this 2 or 3 times per year, and in those cases, it's very, very easy for you to make some money on each car that you have, and you only have it for 2 or 3 months that way. So that's a good deal. And you can drive 3 or 4 new cars every year that way. Again, the kind of cars that you drive will make a difference, and I think it's important to state right here that when you buy a new car, you should have it fairly loaded. You should have air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, of course, cruise control, by all means, air conditioning, absolutely air conditioning. Don't buy a car without air conditioning. That's just a kiss of death. Preferably sunroof is a good thing in most cars to have. Convertibles are good cars to have, but a sunroof is a nice added selling situation. A lot of people like it, so that's a good thing to have. AM, FM cassette, certainly. If it has a Bose radio in it, that's going to give you another good thing to resell. So those things are a valuable thing. Some of the things that I find, though, that are questionable is whether you buy an Elegance series or you buy a Baritz series or something of that sort. You can don't buy the bottom of the line, but it's not always necessary that you buy the absolute top of the line at the same time. So find out what the market is in your area. You can find out and pretty much tell what cars are hot. And if the dealer down there has got some cars that are hot, he probably won't discount to the buying public, and this will give you an advantage because you'll be able to buy those cars at a good discount to get your cars to your customers at a very, very good discount. That's just going to make them happier with you. The secret to this business and winning and being successful is not to be greedy. Don't be greedy by any means. Put your people, as I said on my card, helping consumers get the right cars and at the right price. And that's a very, very important thing, because if you give them the right car, find a car that will suit them and do the best job for them, and you give them a good price on it, they're going to be happy with you. They're going to come back and buy another car from you, and that's what you want them to do. You want them to get all their cars from you. Number one. Number two, you want them to tell all their friends, because the first thing that happens when they buy that new automobile, they drive it home, their neighbors see it, they want to know, gee, what kind of deal did you get on that new car? You got a new car. What kind of deal did you get on it? And you want them to be pleased to say, I got the best deal I ever had, and I didn't have to deal with a salesman, I didn't have to go through all the hassle and the wrestle and the high ball and the low ball, and my car's not worth anything, it's a junker, and our car is worth everything in the world, and you should mortgage your wife and kids. Baloney, let's get rid of that. That's what I'm telling you, you don't need to go through. You can do this the way that I'm teaching you. You won't have the problems, you'll build a business, or if you're doing it for yourself personally, you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. Okay, some of the other things that we've got in the manual, pricing out new and used cars, and that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier here, and we're going to talk about in just a minute. And you can just do that, and you could even do that by mail order and make some very, very good money on it, or you could set up a phone service where they call up and they could give you your credit card number over the telephone for $10 and you price them out of cars, so forth and so on. You could do that. We show you about leasing new and used cars, it's a big business. Renting new and used cars, which is another big business. Brokering antique and classic cars. That's a lot of fun if you're kind of an antique and classic car nut. You don't have to worry that you've got to have $20,000 to buy an antique car. There's a lot of cars out there that you can buy that are antique or classic cars that are fairly inexpensive. If you kind of just go around and kind of turn over the bushes, you'd be surprised what you can find. Don't bypass looking at the old Corvairs. I enjoyed them and had a lot of fun. I found an old Corvair, and I think I tell about it in the manual here. I found an old Corvair in a city about 20 miles from here in someone's garage. And I went out to look at it, and they just wanted the best offer on the car. And the car was very, very straight. The interior was fine, except that their dogs had done something weird and ate the rugs. I don't remember, but the interior was flawless other than that. So I knew it just needed a new rug set, which would cost me about $25. And then it also needed a new top, and it needed to be painted. But it had never been in a wreck. The chrome bumpers were fine on it. The body was in good shape, but it did need paint on the thing. So I knew it wasn't too big of a fix-up problem. Now, the only thing I didn't know was whether the car ran or not, because the people said that they had parked it in there 2.5 years ago, and they hadn't started it since. And as far as I knew, there was nothing wrong with it, but they had not started it, and it didn't have a battery. Well, I asked them how much they wanted, and they said best offer, and I said, well, what's the best offer you've had so far? And they said, well, $175. And I said, well, would $200 buy the car? The lady said, it sure would. And I said, fine, I'll give you, excuse me, I'll give you the money right now, which I did. Paid her the $200. I went out, got a battery, came back, put the battery in the car with a friend of mine, and gave me the key, and it cranked right over. I drove that car home. I took it to a friend of mine who painted it for me for a big fee of $100. I went down and got the rugs for $25, installed the rugs. I got a new top for $50. I had that put on for $100. And then I loaded up my whole family and drove from Portland, Oregon, clear down to Phoenix, Arizona, and put it in a classic car auction. This was several years ago now. And I had a total investment in that car of about, I don't know, $400 or $500, something like that. I turned around and sold it 2 days later for $1,600. So that was a lot of fun, and I made some money and had a good time at the same time. So you can do those things, and you can still buy some Corvair Monzas out there for $400 or $500. You'd just be amazed. There's some old Mustangs out there. Mustangs are a hot property. And there's a lot of things. You just kind of look around, and this is kind of the fun thing that you can do, and you'd be surprised the kind of money that you can make on doing some of these things. And once you build yourself up, if you take those cars and roll them up, pretty soon you're up into the $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 level, and there's some pretty nice cars available when you get up into that area. So we discussed that in brokering antique and classic cars. And when I say brokering too, don't misunderstand me. A lot of times when you're brokering, you never actually have to go out and buy the car, but you've got a buyer over here that wants to buy a certain type of car, and you go out and find a seller that's got that kind of car, and you're essentially putting the buyer and seller together, and you're getting paid a fee for it. Otherwise, you can go out and you can buy the cars yourself personally and sell them, and I don't recommend that unless you've got the extra cash to do that. If you've got the extra cash to do that, then that's fine, because you can do that at 1 or 2 cars per time, and you don't have too much money tied up unless you're buying Mercedes or Porsches and things like that. Then you can get a lot of money tied up real quick. That's kind of fun, because those cars, if you buy them right, according to my methods, then you'll be safe anyway, and you can drive and have a lot of fun, just like my Porsche that you saw me drive up in today. That's a $32,000 car. I paid $20,000 for it. Now, most people don't think you can buy those kind of cars wholesale, but you can once you get your contacts out there and let people know that you're in the automobile business, that you're looking for cars and good buys, and you have to call them up and question. I had to call up my contact. I kept questioning him. I'm looking for this kind of car. I'm looking for this kind of car. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? So forth and so on, until he found exactly the kind of car I wanted. And he told me he had it, told me his price. I knew it was a good price. I said, I'll take it. And I flew down to Los Angeles, picked it up, and drove it back up here. And I really should turn it right now, but it's such a nice car, and I enjoy driving it. It's hard to do it. But, you know, the most fun is finding that next car, and right now I'm looking for a Ferrari, so I'm having some fun doing that. Importing European cars. This is a good business. It's a little bit soft right now in the U.S., but that could change, and that's just because of the way that the dollar is. There are some good European cars to buy. I was just recently over in England and found some Rolls Royces that you could still buy for $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000. So there are some good cars out there to buy. You just have to be careful, because there's a lot of rust and salt that's used on the road over in Europe, and you can get some rust problems on cars, and you don't want that. So that's something to look into, and the market fluctuates back and forth. So anyway, I show you how you can do that and where do you go to get your cars properly DOT and DEQ'd to bring them into the United States. We're talking about operating an auto flea market. Here's another way to get in the automobile business if you don't like to detail cars or clean up cars or buy and sell cars, that you can get into an auto flea market business, and that's discussed in Section 8. Then detailing new cars, I talk about that in the business side of it and how to set up your business. You can make a lot of money. You know, I've taken people that were completely out of work, couldn't find a job, their unemployment had run out. We taught them how to get into the detail business, and literally within days they were making $100, $200 per day. And they loved it, and they stayed in the business ever since, because they really became their own boss. They could work as much or as little as they want. And some people have gone on and built a complete business on it. Then in Section 10, we talk about how you can make $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 per year part-time, and this is absolutely possible. I think someone asked me once how active am I now in the car business, and as much as I love it, I don't have the time to put the devotion that I would like to put into it, because I enjoy it and it's a lot of fun. But even so, I've got to guess I'm probably picking up $30,000 to $40,000 per year just playing with it. So, and I have a good time in it. I'm not a type of person that likes to garden or cut the lawn or things of that sort. I'd rather pay to have somebody do that, but I love to wash my cars and detail them and turn a few cars and make some money. And with certain cars, you could just do one a year and make that kind of money if it was the right kind of car. So that just goes to where you want to take it. Then making $50,000 to $100,000 per year full-time, and that certainly is available in most parts of the United States, unless you're in a very, very small town. But even then, if you develop contacts in other places, you can do this by the mail, you can still make very, very nice, comfortable income. It's really up to you and how much you want to put into it and put forth. The old saying is that about the guy sitting down at the dock waiting for his ship to come in. He was waiting for all the money to come back to him. That's fine and that's great, but you won't have that happen unless you send some out. So you've got to talk about your business. You've got to tell your friends, your relatives, whether they live in the same town as you do or they live clear across the country. It doesn't matter. You can help them with their automobile needs. You can help them with new cars, used cars, save themselves some money, and if it works for them, they're going to tell their friends, and your business can just grow. So you can have a nationwide business, or you can have it all right in your own city. Whatever you want to do. There's so many options that you can take care of. Operating a limousine business. That was a lot of fun, as I mentioned on the television program. Had three Mercedes limousines, and just had a great time with those things. We had a lot of fun with that. First class limousine service, I called it. And it was fun because you met interesting people. You were making good money, and it's a desirable thing to do. So that's something for you to consider in there. Then doing business in the auto aftermarket. You see car stereos and radar detectors and mag wheels, and I mean there's so many different ways to get into the automobile aftermarket that you can have a really enjoyable time doing that also. So read that section 13 very closely and find out what you can do there. Then number 14 is getting other people working for you. You know, one of the things that I found in my life that, yes, I'm a hard worker and I enjoy my work. I like to do what I like to do. And the problem is that you sometimes find out that you run out of time. You just don't have enough time to get everything done. And that if you could do more things, you could make more money. Well, this is where you have to get some other people in to help you do certain responsibilities and positions. And if you do that correctly, which I show you how to do that in getting other people working for you, you can multiply your business all over the United States or all over the city without you having to be there all the time, and yet you can still be getting paid for the work that's done, and that's explained to you in chapter 14. So we've laid it out pretty clear. It's going to be up to you what you do with it. I can't call you up and tell you to go to work, as nobody did for me. But I think that you'll find that it's pretty easy to succeed with this program, because I have to be honest with you saying that most of the people that buy our programs probably buy it for their own personal use. So very few of them go into the business aspect, which, you know, I mean, I'm somewhat disappointed because we need good, solid people in the automobile business, and it's a huge business, and it's growing every year. It's going to continue to grow. So there is a real career opportunity for you with this program, and I don't know where else you could get this kind of knowledge that you're getting for the price that you paid for this manual. So you should be very, very pleased about that. Okay, just to give you, there's things in the front of the manual that maybe you've read or maybe you haven't, but let's go in and talk about a little bit brokering of new cars and trucks. And I think probably what's most essential, because I've got it written out here, of how you should work with your customers and what you should do. But let's get into how you order the cars. And in the book here, we've got a 1988 Chevrolet. I'm using the book 89 book, so we've got the 89 Chevrolet. What's interesting about that is, and I enjoy doing this, is going through and seeing how much differences in prices from one year to the next. Let's see. I'm just curious here. We've got the Corvette here with a $25,326 and 64-cent price, and here this year's $27,092. So it's gone up almost $2,000 in just 1 year. That's factory invoice prices. Retail on that car was about $29,955 in 1988, which almost $30,000, and in 1989 it's $32,000. So it went about $2,000 up there too. So you can kind of see that's kind of an interesting situation. Also notice this, that I think a lot of people are under the conception that most of the dealers are making a big fat profit on these cars. Just looking at the Corvette, which is a highly desirable car, you've got a retail of $32,000 and a cost of $27,000. That's before you add any options or anything of that sort on there. So you've got about $5,000 at the most in there, and really that's not a big margin of profit when you're talking about a $30,000 expense. So he's got to carry flooring on that, and interest and insurance and all that. So really, that's why I'm saying you shouldn't be against the dealer. The dealer deserves to make a profit. However, I'll tell you this, that on that low figure of the $27,000, he's going to make a 5% kickback from the manufacturer of that car, regardless, even if he sells it to you at his actual cost. Now, and quite frankly, most dealers will not sell you a Corvette or a highly desirable car that's hot on the market at their actual factory cost. They're going to want to pay $500, $1,000, $1,500 over on it, and that, whatever the market may be. In fact, in 1984, when the '84 Corvette came out, it was very, very hard to find a dealer that would even sell one to a wholesaler or a lease company or a broker at flat retail. Now, if you could buy one at retail, it was a good buy because of the fact that they were selling for $6,000 over retail. And the dealers can sell them over retail as long as they put a sticker on the car that says additional dealer profit. So, you know, I've always recommended to people that you should never go in and buy a car or work with a dealer that says additional dealer profit, because that's just a bunch of malarkey, and there's no reason to do that. Remember this, that even though the car may be hot in your town, maybe a town 100 miles from you, they're not selling any of those cars. And that's what I used to tell people when they tried to get Hondas and couldn't get a break here. I'd say, well, let's go to Boise or go to Spokane, and someplace we'd find that the dealer couldn't get rid of his Hondas and you could get a good buy. So you had to drive it home 200 or 300 miles. Big deal. People are willing to do that. We used to buy Mercedes in the Midwest a lot because we get a better price for our California buyers for Mercedes in Nebraska instead of in California. So that way we'd save them some money. We'd either have them trucked down or bonded driver delivery, or a lot of time the people like to go on a little weekend trip and they go up and pick up their car and drive it back home. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to work on it. Anyway, let's talk about using the price sheets and how those work, and let's just price out a car a little bit here, okay? Great. Okay, for this we're going to use the personal consultation sheet that's included with your packet. And we're going to go through there and we're going to fill out the essential things. And I think we're going to do this on an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. Those cars are probably the best American selling cars that are on the market. They have a good initial sale. They have a good resale when they turn them in for a used car. So let's go take and price out a 1989 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, okay? All right, get ready, get your paper ready, get a place cleared on your kitchen table so you can do that. And if you don't have your price guide, you just follow along here, but when you get your price guide, you can come back and review this tape. That's the nice thing about videotape, is you can come back if you don't understand a section and go back and run it again. Okay, let me see where's Oldsmobile. Okay. Here we go. 1989 Oldsmobile. Now, what I'm going to do is we'll have to change the camera position here so you can kind of look over my shoulder while I'm doing this. And excuse me, I'm left-handed, so I hope that you can read my writing as we do this, okay? First of all, we'll put the customer's name in here, and John Jones, right? Okay. And he lives in Midville. Sounds like some old TV movie. Midville, well, that's his address. I can't even write anymore. This is address 123 Plain Street in Midville, Ohio. Whatever his zip is, and his phone number 239-4056, business phone 234-9156. Okay, quotation date, you put today's date up there. Let's say December 16th, 1988, whatever the date is. Your name, I'll put my name in here, except it takes too long to write. Just think, you think you got problems, think how you'd have to have if you had to write Eichenberger all the time. And my address is here, is in 6775 Southwest 111th in Beaverton, County, Washington, Oregon 97005, and phone calls. Okay, now we're going to price out And on this manual, if you've got the personal consultation sheet in front of you doing this, this will help you quite a bit. First column you got over here is your year. So it's a 1989. Make is an Oldsmobile, and I just put Olds, O-L-D-S for Oldsmobile. Model will be Cutlass Supreme. Cutlass Supreme. Description, it should be, well, I would say the Cutlass Supreme International. That's the top of the line on that one, and in this case it should be the top of the line. Okay, down here, what you're going to find now in your blue book, let's bring over your blue book, is your model number. Your model number is right up here in your first hand side, and you'll see a copy of this in your manual. It's right in your manual. It's on Chevrolet, but right here it shows your model type right there. And then the body type, dealer invoice, suggested retail, FOB is freight on board, and just forget that column. Don't even use that column. Because freight included, because everybody has to pay freight. Even if you went to the factory and picked up the car, you have to pay freight. Okay? Okay, so now on this one, we're going to go back to our price sheet now. So the manufacturer code, don't worry, this first thing for the code, don't worry about that. Just go down the manufactured code line. And on our Cutlass Supreme International, it's a WR47, and it's International Coupe. Okay? Now we come over here, and the cost on that, and when looking at the cost on this, we come with a $14,666.69. The suggested retail is $16,995. Now, this is the place on the actual invoice price is where I put in what I call my broker's fee. And your broker's fee can be anything that you want it to be. It could be $100, it could be $500, it could be $1,000. You've just got to make it so it's a reasonable fee so that people will think that they've got the best buy. So that's why I tell people in the manual that you need to have them go out and find out what the best buy they could get on this car from the dealer is, and then bring you back that best buy, and you can help them. If you can't beat the price, you'll tell them so. And that way you'll know how much of a fee that you can set in there. So let's say on this car that you're going to make a $500 fee. So you take $14,666.69 and add $500 to it. So that makes the cost of that then $15,166.69. And the retail cost is $16,995 exactly. Okay, now once you've finished that section right there, then you come over and you turn to the heading. It says for each car, Cutlass Sierra, here's Cutlass Supreme, and you come into the Cutlass Supreme area and it says standard equipment. It says the following items of equipment are in addition to the common items of standard safety equipment. You go through and look at that. Then it says base car, so that's the base Cutlass Supreme. They're saying all this is on there. Then on the SL edition, which they have a different section back here, you can have a Cutlass SL. You have a regular Cutlass, a Cutlass Supreme SL, or the Cutlass Supreme International. And the Cutlass SL says in addition or in place of above, and they give you additional things that you get on that car. And then on the International Coupe, it says in addition to or in place of above, and they give you other things, such standard conditions as air conditioning, power door locks, power, you got four-way power, articulation, and rear bucket seats, leather wrap steering wheel, 5-speed manual transmission with overdrive. So once you've got that down and you find out what that is, that gives you a little idea of some of the things that you won't have to charge extra for to the people. Then you come down to mandatory options. And if you're in the state of California, you always have to have California emissions. And otherwise you cannot order a non-California car to go into California. It has to have California the California DEQ equipment on that. Then the engines, it comes with an L86 V6, which is standard. So that's the only engine that comes in that. Okay? And then transmissions, 5-speed manual transmission with overdrive is base on the base car and the SL, and the International, it's standard. Oh, you get a credit. Excuse me. You have to look over here on this side and find out if you're getting a credit or not. But then you can also get some, you can get an automatic 4-speed, which is an option on the International, and it costs you $522. So let's say on this particular car, though, we want a little bit more sporty, so we're going to have it with a 5-speed transmission, so that's already standard. We don't have to worry about it. Now then, the next section down here says power assists. Has antenna bright power. And if you want a power antenna, then that's $59.50. And my recommendation is always give your customers any of the additional items that they want at actual factory cost. Now, there's quite a bit of markup in it. You can see $59.50 to $70. It's not that much on this particular item. But that's where the dealers make an additional profit, is selling you a lot more accessories. And so a power antenna, you know, that's kind of an option of whether somebody wants it or not. Astro Whip. This is the power sliding Astro Whip. I recommend this. On the International, it's $552 with a retail of $650, but it adds so much to the car's resale that I think it's a good thing to buy it. So let's put that down as our first option. So our first option on our car here is going to be, and go back over here and right in the parentheses next, to your options, we'll have a code. So this is Astro Roof is CF5. So down here in manufacturer's code section, CF5. And this will be Astro Roof. Kind of what they call a moon roof now. Go over here to the price, and the price of that is $552.50 with a retail of $650. Okay? Let's go back down now to the next one, accessory and option groups. Option package. If you want to get it for the International, it's $633. Here's what it includes. Speed control, which I recommend. Tilt, which I recommend. Power windows, which I recommend. Carpeted front and rear floor mats, I recommend that. Power antenna, door edge guards, pulse wipers, 6-way power driver seat adjuster, and convenience group, which consists of underhood, rear reading lamp, truck and dual reading lamps, and illuminated right-hand visor vanity mirror. Now, that's a good package, I feel, to have. Now, but let's wait a minute. That's option package 1SB. Option package 1SC has in it, which cost $854 for the International one. Here's what it has. It has the color-keyed front and rear floor mats, power door locks, power trunk release, 6-way power driver seat, color-keyed dual remote control mirrors, remote lock control package, power windows, automatic air conditioning, and steering wheel, touch controls. So they're, you know, it's about $200 more because it includes those things, but it may be well worth it to you if that's an option package that your customer wants, and that's something just to discuss, that you have to discuss when you're going through them. And most of the time, they'll go out and look at the car, and they'll already know the options that they want on that car. So they already know that before you get there. And incidentally, this blue book, this pricing book, you never put in front of a customer. This is your own private source. You come back and you price this out at home, away from your customers. You do not do it in front of them, because otherwise they're going to be looking over your shoulder and all these type of things. And that's not for their eyes, that's for your eyes only. Okay, let's go on. Let's take a look through here. Let's put the option package 1SC. So we put 1SC option package, and the cost on that was $854.25, and $1,005 is retail on that. Okay, Let's now start going through the other options on here. Braking system, anti-lock, $786. Yeah, it's okay, you don't need it that much unless you're a race driver. High capacity cooling system. If you're doing any trailer towing or things of that sort, it's a pretty good idea, but I think it's just a pretty good idea because it's got a high capacity radiator, transmission oil cooler, and engine cooler, and it keeps your engine running cooler, which will keep your engine lasting longer. It's only $127.50 option. I think it's well worth doing it. So let's put that in. So that's V08 cooling system. They call that high capacity. And you'll see that I'm writing everything down just as it is right in the book. High capacity cooling system. I'm coming over and writing my price in there. 1, 2, 3, 25, 145. Now, because I'm doing this in the video and instructing you, it takes me longer than it would normally take me to do it because I'd be going through and just checking these out. Rear window defogger. I think that's pretty much essential in almost any place that you are. That's C49. You can do RW defog. That's $123.25 and $145. I wonder where they come up with these pricing ideas. You don't need an engine block, heater, radio. I would go, there's several different radio packages. Now, this is up to you, but a lot of times in your aftermarket you can get a lot better radio. It doesn't say what comes standard in there, but, well, it does over here in your standard size page. You can find out what comes in standard on this. Let's see what they say for radio. In radio, you just get an AM, FM, ETR stereo with seek and scan, but that's no cassette, and you want a cassette. So if you do want to put a cassette, let's just say that we're going to put a cassette one in here. To just do the first upgrade on it is $124. If you want to go to the 8-speaker sound system with performance enhanced audio, that's $339. Let's say that we want to do that. So let's put the fanciest radio in there. That's U1C, and that's radio ETR. That's electronic stereo. Okay, excuse me. That's a stereo with a compact disc. Well, that's okay. Let's put a compact disc in. Stereo with, that's a pretty good deal. Compact disc system, and that's $339. Boy, you're really rocking down the streets in that. Cost with the $399 retail. Seats reclining bucket. It's standard in the International, so you don't have to worry about that. Leather trim steering wheel. I don't think that's that hot of a deal. Okay, after you put the radio in, seat trim leather. Yeah, leather would be nice in the International, so let's put leather seat in there. That's WJ7. Leather seating. 309, 309.40, and 364. It's getting over a cold here. Okay, then we go over to suspension. And I'm not going to worry about too much about that. Wheels cast aluminum. Yeah, no, it says not available International, not available with touring car rights, and so forth and so on. Yeah, everything is standard. So that's about it. Well, let's add this up and find out what we're doing for our customer here, okay? So here's what you come down. As you come down to a retail price on this car to the customer would be $19,703 if they went in to buy that from their local dealer. Your price to them would be $17,438.99. So all you got to do there And down at the bottom of this sheet, it gives a special discount and deposit to required order. I usually took $1,000 deposit from a person to get that car ordered, and that was usually turned into the dealer. So but let's just take a look and see how much you saved them. If the car was $19,703 retail, your price was $17,438.99. Your price, right on there. Okay, so you saved them $2,264.01. So that's the savings. Now, the only thing that's different is that you put in up for yourself right up here. This is where you hid in your base price, you hid yourself a $500 broker's fee. Now, in some cases, you may tell a person your broker's fee, and in other cases you may not tell them what your fee is. And that's entirely up to you. Okay, well there you have it, how to fill out your personal consultation sheet. And you should never do this just for free, because this will take your time to do it, and you should be charging your customers $10, $15, $20 for each consultation sheet, because you don't know at that point whether they're going to come back and buy that car from you, or they're just going to use your guide to go out and shop other dealers. And that's okay. I mean, hopefully you'll get the car sale, but if they're going to use that for go out and shop other dealers, which is a true and accurate reflection of the price that you can get it for, and you'll know this by calling up your new car dealers. You're saying, how do I know I can get this car for that price? You'll know by the price that you're getting from your new car dealers. And you're going to be able to adjust your fees and around his fees at that point. Once you've gone through the tape, how to set up your new car dealer network over the phone. So you'll know how to gauge your prices on this. But let me just state this. Let's say that you were to go out and print 500 of these personal consultation sheets, and you went out and you got 200 people that wanted price quotations on new cars. Well, if you charge them just $10, there's $2,000. That's not a bad return. And if you'll find that probably, let's say of those 200 people, that 60% of them bought the cars from you, what can I say? You've got 120 people that have bought an automobile for you, and if you average just say $300 per car, that's over $30,000 that you'd earn for doing nothing more than doing price consultations and helping them find the car they want. Now, once you do get the people, you give this to them, they say, this is exactly what I want, this is the car I want, the price, everything is fine on it. Then you'll go over and you'll say the best way to get that exact car for you is to go ahead and order it directly from the dealer so that we can get it as a new car and have him order it for you so that you can get the right colors and everything else, and you'll use your new car dealer vehicle purchase authorization. And on the back of that also has the correct writing for the purchase agreement on there. So you should look at that and have them sign both sides. Feel, I'm concerned about you. You can make it in this business. You can succeed with it. You can save yourself thousands of dollars. This program can work for you. And share it with your family, and then send it down to your children and things of that sort, and let them have it. There's just no way, I don't care if I was on television 24 hours a day on major stations, there's no way that we can cover the market that is out there in this automobile business. It is a tremendous market. It's billions and billions and billions of dollars, and it's growing every year. And the principles that I'm putting in this course work the same whether you're dealing with automobiles or you're dealing with trucks or boats or airplanes or whatever you want to work with. I mean, it's all the same. The opportunities in here will work if you'll take those and just understand how to use the principles that I'm teaching you in here. You really can succeed in almost any type of a business. It's all relative. It's all the same. It's the fact that you've got to get these principles down so that you can put them to work in your life. And that's really what I'm encouraging you to do. I'm not saying that this is the only program in the world or it's the best program in the world. It's a program that I know that works. I've tried to keep it simple so anybody can use it. They won't have to get frustrated by it. We're here in our office. It's where I would like to talk with you on the phone. I just love to hear stories of how you're successful, and believe me, please write to me. I'd be more than happy to hear your success story. And if you've got a problem or something, it's a lot better for you to write it down than to try and call us. I mean, I'm lucky if I get to spend a couple hours with my wife a week and my family because of the fact that we're tied on to doing this. And that doesn't mean that I'm just a workaholic. We are busy because of the fact that we're serving a lot of you people out there. We want to serve you in the best way we possibly can. But your questions, your ideas, if you have a problem, they're important to us. But it's a lot easier for us to get back to you if you'll write it down in a letter, send it off to the address that's in the program here, and we'll get an answer back to you right away. Write to me. Let us know how you're doing. We're interested in your success. We're interested in hearing about your stories. We'll be doing updates on the television program, and I'm sure that we'll want to feature some of you people out there that are going to have some phenomenal stories. So, the best of luck to you, and thanks for joining me here today at my kitchen table, and we'll see you at the top. Hi, this is Merrill Eichenberger, and this is our tape, How to Detail for Retail. And today we're going to detail a BMW. Now, this one is not particularly one of the worst cars I've ever had to detail, so sometimes you're going to get into a car that's got a lot of oxidation, and I'll be telling you about that as we go through there when we get to that part. But everything else starts out on a basic way. So we're going to start out basically today showing you how to get into detailing. Now, one of the things that you're going to need is some of the equipment that I'm talking about here. You're going to need some towels, you're going to need some wax, and in this case I've got some Beauty Shine car wax, which is a good car wax, but almost anything. I recommend McGuire's wax because it's a good hard paste wax, and you want to put that on there. You don't want to use anything with silicones, and I want to make that you really understand that point. Don't use a silicone on your car paints. They'll claim that it's going to last for a year, but it actually mixes with the pigment of your paint, and if you have any kind of a dent or a scratch that you want to repair, it's almost impossible to get that off and get new paint on there. So don't use silicones. Use a good cleaner wax or a good wax. So that's one thing. I dropped my little detail brush here. I've got some wash that I'm going to combine in a minute with some kerosene down here, and we're going to show you how to clean up your engines and get all the tar things off of your little tar marks off of your car without hurting the paint. This is an interior cleaner. This is called Polyshell, and this is by Turtle Wax, and that's okay. Son of a Gun is a good one to use, and we're going to learn how to use that product in a few minutes also. You can see also down here is I've got a bucket. This is just a standard bucket, just a white bucket that you can buy at any store, any hardware store. I've got a nice scrub brush inside of that, and I prefer a little mitt, but you could use a sponge or anything else you want to in the bucket, and we're going to do everything. Of course, I've got my hose out here. I'm using nothing more than regular house pressure, and house pressure is enough pressure to get your car cleaned right. Plus, I've got a vacuum cleaner, which is kind of a heavy-duty wet dry vac, which you may want to use. Okay, that's about all. I think what we're going to do is just start doing this car. So what we're going to do, first of all, there's an absolute pattern that must be followed in going through a detail. And the first thing we're going to do is clean up the engine on this automobile without steam cleaning and make it really look nice. That's impressive to people to see a clean car and also underneath the engine compartment. So let's go and take a look at how we're going to do that. Okay, the first thing we're going to do to clean the engine now is to mix up what we want to use for cleaning it. And you can use any kind of a wash, even the detergent wash that you use for your dishes on this, and take a 16-ounce bottle like I've taken here, and it doesn't have to be a fancy bottle as you well see, and you pour some of that wash, and you can go down to a local chemical company in your town and find out what they've got as a mild detergent wash that you could use. That's probably a little bit full there, but I've got some kerosene mixed in there too. You want to do it about, maybe a quarter to 3/4 kerosene. And this is just regular kerosene. I usually use a funnel to get it in. But you put it in here, and then put on your spray top, like I'm doing right here. And these are available readily at your, hardware store, department store, and you shake it up. Now, what's good about this solution is you've got your kerosene and your soap in here, so they're working together. And wherever you spray this on the car, you see if you put gasoline, you could stain your paint, but kerosene won't hurt your car at all. It's good for your car. And that's one of the best things for getting grease off is just kerosene. And it's usually about $1.50, maybe $2 per gallon. Get it in the container, and then you mix that up before you go. Now we're going to go and take a look at this engine, and then we're going to spray the engine. This isn't one of the dirtiest engines I've ever seen either, but it's a typical example of how people who haven't cleaned their engine for a long time. Now, of course, this car came over. This is what you would terminally call a gray market car, so it has been cleaned before it came over to the United States, but it hasn't been cleaned for probably a year or two, I'd say. So our chemical is going to work real well on this, and remember, that's wash and kerosene. It's just a detergent wash like you use for your dishes inside the house, so it's safe, won't hurt the paint, and kerosene. So what we're going to do is now we're going to spray all over this engine, and if from where I'm standing, and when you get in front of an engine yourself and doing this, you'll see all the dirt and things like this, and you want to be very complete with this. And get a good spray. Okay, now we're spraying. And I'm spraying over every little part that I can see here. And you want to give this some time to work. You know, you leave it about 15 minutes. If your spray gets too fine, like this is, then you can thicken it up a little bit. Usually the engine, you should run the engine a little bit so it's a little bit warm, and that helps the grease and everything else get baked off when this solution hits it. Still got too fine a mist. That's too much of a thing. Kind of get somewhere in between, and just spray around everywhere. It won't hurt at all to get it on your paint. It's not going to hurt anything at all. You just want to spray every area you can. You want to get this as clean as possible. That's what's going to help this car look new again. And people like a new looking car. Spray on the padding. Won't hurt a thing. In fact, it's actually beneficial because this is a petroleum product. Kerosene is, and the soap won't hurt at all. It'll clean it up a little bit. So you're not going to hurt anything by doing this. Just spray, spray, spray down inside. Get all that you can. Okay. Getting some heavy grease right down in here on the engine valve cover. I'm trying to get down too. Okay, that's enough there. Just click that off, because then we're going to go back and show me rinsing it off. But I gotta get more solution here to clean it. Just make sure you go around to every side and just spray, spray, spray. This is a pretty cheap, inexpensive solution to have here. It's not that expensive, and you'll be surprised how long a 16-ounce can. Now you see, the gunk and things that you buy in the store really is no more than compressed kerosene, but you're paying a lot more money for it. That's why I recommend that you go down to your garage or service station and buy a gallon of kerosene and have it at home. And you can store it in the same thing that you store a gas can in or something of that sort. Spray under the hood, spray on the battery. Just let it soak it up. It's not going to hurt a thing. Not going to hurt one thing. Getting this pretty well done. If it's on a real hot day, it's going to dry a lot faster than a day like today, which is kind of cloudy. Normal Portland weather, which we haven't had for a while. Had a nice summer time here. It's been beautiful this year. Get down the alternator and around the fan. Just every place that you can. Fuse box. This is real dirty up there. Okay, I think we about got that now. Let's just get a good shot of how this looks with all the solution on it. Got to get the places that I missed from the other side. I think we got it all now. Okay, and there's how it looks with all the stuff on it. You can see kind of the white film that it kind of leaves on the car, and that's fine. There again, it's not going to hurt a thing. Okay, now that we've got the engine all sprayed down with our kerosene and our wash there, we're just going to take our regular garden hose from your house with house pressure. I've got a special little nozzle on here. I think they call it a fisherman's nozzle or something like that. But you want a good spray. And you can get enough pressure, and with this solution it'll work. So we're going to just turn that on and start spraying around. I'm trying to be careful so we don't get too much wet here, but just follow it around. Start up on the hood first maybe, so it drips down on the engine compartment as you're spraying it. My water pressure is funny here. I can see the dirt coming off right now. Coming off, it's looking good. Taking off all down through here where I did it. Oh yeah. Get down in this channel, wash that off, get the leaves out. Working good. Cleaning good. Down on the valve cover, oh yeah, that cleaned that right up. Boy, that looks good. I don't know, it just makes people really excited when they see that the engine is all nice and clean. Doesn't take very much work. This isn't hard. And this is better for your car, a lot better than steam cleaning. Some people will talk to you about steam cleaning as the only way to clean the engine, but that's not. This is a freewheeling fan, so I think I can probably get that spinning pretty good. And we'll get spinning this way. That gets that nice and clean. Get all the way down in there. You don't really have to worry too much about whether the car will start up or not again, because usually they will, because they're going to dry out. You're not going to start it up right this minute anyway. Okay, got that side. I'll turn it off, come over here to the other side and get that all sprayed off and clean. Doesn't have to be a tremendous amount of pressure, but just some good fine spray to get down there and get in all the cracks and crannies. Crooks and crannies, I should say, there. Just makes it look nice. See how well it cleaned that fuse box up. And the battery. Got a new battery in this car. Get the top part of the hood here. It doesn't take a large area. You don't have to get real wet or make anything a big mess. Made that all nice and clean. See, all of this is painted underneath by the factory. So I know sometimes people look under the hood of their car and they can't even tell if there's an engine in there. It's so dirty. But I recommend doing this. You should do this, I think, once a month. Because if your car is clean like this and doesn't have a lot of dirt caked on it, it'll also run cooler. A car with a bunch of dirt on the engine makes the engine run hotter, and if you're down in Phoenix or Dallas or Florida or California, that can have a lot to do with the performance of your car, and things start wearing out faster. So it's good to do this on a regular basis with your own automobile. Plus it makes it look clean, and that's going to establish some more value. So now we've got that washed like that. And as you can see from the television picture, that looks pretty good, and we haven't steam cleaned it. Now, if this was a real dirty engine, it would still come out like this. You'd be amazed at how this did. And if it was real caked on grease, then you just use a little bit of a parts brush, and you could get down into some of these areas and clean with a parts brush. But other than that, it looks real good. Now we're going to go to our next step of detailing the car. Okay, now the next step is washing the car in its entirety. One of the things you want to do is when you get your wash is just use only about a cap full. So you don't need very much on there, and then put your water in, and it'll bubble up pretty good. You'll see that this will bubble up way before I get very much water into it, and that'll be sufficient. And of course, then don't forget to put in your brush that you're going to use and your mitt for washing. Okay, now we're ready to start on the car. Remember our little kerosene and wash that we use for cleaning the engine? The other thing that's good for this is getting all the tar that you get, road tar that you get on your car. So here's what I do with this, is I spray around the wheel wells. And this car doesn't really have too much of that on it. But you spray along the bottom here. And you're going to let this kind of just soak while you're washing the other parts of the car. Especially back here on these underbody panels is a good place for this to soak, and that's where you'll get a lot of your tar. And actually, as this sits for a while, you'll watch it that it'll just kind of come around and just really help the under parts of the car get that road tar and all that stuff off of it. It'll almost just wash right off. You might have to use a brush if it's real severe, and it's not on this car, so we're not going to have to do it too hard on this car. You can also use a solution on your tires if you want to. Okay, now we're going to wash the car, and what we simply do in that, there is a pattern to doing this, and I like to do it in a uniform pattern so it starts out well. First of all, I just wet the total car down with your garden hose again. Doesn't have to be the real powerful spray, but a nice soft spray on there. Just wet the car down completely. Now a lot of that will blow off some of the surface dirt and things of that sort, and again, like I said before, this car isn't really bad as some of the cars you'll see. And of course, when you get a real bad car, you may have to adjust your price up on that because it may take you longer to do it. Normally, to detail a total car should take you in the neighborhood of around 4 hours on a complete detail. A mini detail where you're just washing and drying the car and putting a light wax on it, you could probably do that in a couple of hours. Now, you might develop a system that's even better than what I've got, and that would take you down a little bit less time. Okay, now let's start washing. And where we start washing on this is just the top. And I'm going to go ahead and wash this car. I'm not going to be talking to you because I think you'll be able to see from the demonstration of how I'm doing this pretty well. Well, I'll try it anyway. I don't want to get too much water on this microphone. But I start out with the top. Start just right out with the top, doing half of the top from this side. And at the same time I'm doing the top on this, I'm doing the windshield, getting that good. And on foreign cars, you can pull the windshield wipers out like that. It's under the windshield a little bit better. You can even do the side windows. And if you're real fast at the thing, you can do the other side windows on the other side too. But at least you get this. There again, you're also going to go for half of the rear window at that point. Now I'm going to go around and do exactly the same thing on the other side, and then we're going to hose it off. Okay, now we've got the top and the windows washed, front and the rear windshield. So we're hosing it off. So you want to rinse after you do this. If you're in bright sunlight, you're going to have to rinse a lot faster. You may only do 1/2 of the top and the windshield and the windows, and then have to come back and rinse it off. So be careful in bright sunlight. Okay, we've got that pretty well. Now then, I like to start on the hood and start washing the hood. So you get your bucket and you do the hood and the front grille. Do the hood and the front grille and maybe this fender, and we're going to work our way around the car. Go to the rear deck and around the other side. So we're going to film that. I'm not going to have the video, the microphone on, but you'll see me actually doing this, and at the same time I'll hit the wheels and the tires. Don't even fuck my bucket. I think I put that camera on fast. Okay, we've got the front washed now, and you want to make sure in your grill that you get all the little facets down the grill, all the little holes and things, and then rinse that off again. Every time you do a job, you rinse it off. Make sure you get down underneath those lights, the license plate, get all those places down in those crevices. Now again, you might be able to hit some of that if you missed it when you come back and do the rest of the detail. Now we're going to start on the side of the car and do the side. At the same time you're doing the side, you can usually, once you get fast and used to doing it, you can do the wheel at the same time. And as many cars as I've washed in my life, I hate to think how many that is, always wash around this wheel rim too, right in here. Some of them will be chrome, but wash around that. That makes it look a lot nicer. These tires and wheels are pretty good, so they're really not a big chore to do. Some of them, you may want to use a brush. You may have to use a mag wheel cover or cleaner if it's a mag wheel. In some cases, there's some special wheel cleaners out that you can use on these to get those sections. Now, since I just did the fender and the tire, I'm going to rinse that off. Normally I would do the whole side of the car till I rinse off, but I'm just going to do it this way for showing you. Okay, let's see how fast we can get the rest of the side cleaned up. I've already got the window, so I don't have to worry about that. But you got to get the mirror. Don't want to forget that. Just use a good amount of soap and make sure that you hit every inch of it. Make sure you hit the panel down below here. A lot of people forget that when they're washing their car or when they're doing a detail on it. It's very important. It's one of the things that people look at. Figure that your customer is going to be like an army sergeant inspecting you on inspection day. So you want to try and get every portion of it that you possibly can and get down there and get that. As you can see, it's not really taking me that long to do this. And it really doesn't take that long to do it once you've done it enough times. And I think certainly everybody's had an opportunity to wash a car at some time of their life or another. Okay, getting that done, get around the light. Now here's our panel here, right down here that we've had dripping with our chemical solution to get the kerosene things off, and that should by now be about ready to come off, and it should come off fairly easy. So we'll use that on here. If you want to use a brush or something else, you can also do it. And like I said, this didn't have very much on it, so really it's hard to tell, especially with this color, how much it did have on it. You can get your wheel back here, and the insides here, get around your tire, and this one's in pretty good shape. Been kept up pretty nice. And that's nice because a car kept in value like that will keep its value up quite a bit. Then come back and rinse it all off. Okay, now we're just going to go right to the back trunk and work on that. Okay, now that we've got the whole car washed, you want to go and wipe it off thoroughly. I suggest using a chamois or a synthetic chamois. They call them a tiger rag or something like that. But they're good. But wipe the whole car down now before you start working on it with your polish. So I'm just going to do that. Go ahead and do that. And then we'll come back after I've got it all wiped off and cleaned for our next step. Okay, we've got the car dry now, and we're getting a little bit of our Oregon sunshine here, a little bit of a sprinkle. So it's getting a little sprinkle on it. So what I think I'll do is we'll go to our next step, which is cleaning up the inside of the car. Once you've got it dry, that's a step anyway. But what we're going to do first of all is we're going to take some of the chemical, either your Sonny of a gun. Do not take Armor All. Do not do Armor All with this because Armor All has silicone in it, so you don't want to use Armor All. Use Son of a Gun, use the poly shell or turtle wax, and what we do is we lift the hood back up on the car again. That's where we clean the engine again. And what we're going to do is just spray this all over the engine compartment, because this protects the hoses and everything and keeps them nice and supple, and it'll make them last longer. Your rubber parts last longer, and it gives a nice sheen to the engine without it being a false sheen. Now, many times you've gone and looked at a used car and they're all clear underneath the hood. That's not the way it's supposed to be. If you look at a brand new car underneath the hood, they're clean, but they're not shiny. And so this gives you the same effect as that natural sheen. And nothing in here can hurt the engine. We're just going to spray that on there. And we'll just let that stay on there, and while we're doing the rest of the car, we're just going to let that stay in there and seep in to all the rubber hoses and things of that sort. And that helps the car stay clean underneath there. That's the way that one works. Now we're going to start on the inside of the car, and first thing we'll do is we'll pull out the mats for the car so that we can clean those properly. Okay, now we're just going to vacuum out the car, and I usually start with the front seat and do that either with an extension or with the little knob in like this, and that takes you a little bit, but we're going to clean it out and get as much of this as we possibly can out. I don't very often shampoo the rugs. Once in a while, if you have a real bad rug, you might want to do that. If you have rug mats, then take those out and you can shampoo and wash those thoroughly, and those will come real nice. And recommend people, if they don't have mats, to get some mats, because that really protects their carpeting and keeps it looking new for years and years and years. Okay, I'm just finishing up vacuuming the front part of the car here, and then we're going to go to the next step that we use inside the car, which is putting preserve on it to make everything hold its shape. It's one of the important things to do, as I'll explain later, but make sure as you're doing the carpets and vacuuming that all up that you do it in detail. Try and get every little spot off that you possibly can. Make it look nice and real clean. Gives it that new car look again. And there again, that's important when the customer comes down to buy a car, if you're in the new car business or used car business. It's also important if you're going into the detail business that you make sure that you pay attention to all the details to get every little speck of dirt that you possibly can. Because that's what's going to make people come back and use your service time and time again, plus recommend their friends that they use their service. So paying attention to details is what the name of the game is, and it's not that hard. We're probably into this car detail now, other than we're making a video of it, we're probably into this car detail about 45 minutes on a regular basis. Now some people like to vacuum the car before they wash it, which that's another way to do it. You do what fits your personality. Doesn't really matter that much. Whatever does it that way. Don't forget on velour seats like this to try and go the way of the grain, and that helps it get cleaner. It brushes up the little particles of dirt and gets it out. If you have kids or the car that you're cleaning has kids, be sure and get down way deep into the crevices. Now there's a little bit of spot right here, but you could try some Energine, but be very, very careful on the fabrics. A lot of times you don't want to do that except point it out to people, and they could go to a professional upholstery cleaner and get that done. Okay, I think we're about done with the front. We're going to start on the next portion of cleaning the interior. Now we're in the car and we're going to do the interior. Again, we're going to use our interior protectant. Again, don't use any silicones on here. And the reason I say that is that we've had a problem with silicones. They'll get too slippery for you inside the car. So you want to use something that leaves a natural finish on it. The son of a gun, the polyshell does that type of a thing. I've got my detail brush, of course, and I've got this, and I've got a towel to wipe it off. And we're just going to spray that liberally all over the dashboard. Get all of these parts that we can. There's natural wood in here, on the steering wheel, down below on your gas pedal and your brake pedal. Now you don't want to put this on the rug or cloth material much, but it's not going to help if it gets a little spillover. Right here in the main console I've got some stuff, I don't know what it is, but this should clean it off. We're just going to spray that around. Let it soak in for a little bit, won't hurt anything at all, like I said before. Spray up on the dash. Spray all over. Now this will keep your dashes from cracking if you're in a sunbelt state and you're out in the sun a lot. This will help it. It won't totally solve the problem, but it'll help it quite a bit more than having nothing on it. And it's important. That's one of the problems out there is a lot of people like to buy a California car because they don't have rust, but they'll have a problem with the vinyl dashes and things cracking on them. It's a common problem when you go look at cars down there. And you can put it on some of the vinyl parts of the door too. Now that I've got that sprayed pretty much, I'm going to take it and wipe off the excess with your towel. Just wipe around all the places. Get as much as you can off with the towel, and you're not going to be able to get in some of the cracks and things with the towel. And that's the reason for this detail brush. Now, if we get a close-up on this detail brush, you'll see it working here, getting into the little cracks. And it'll brush all these little cracks out, so you won't see it. And the nice thing about these protectants is most of them, when they dry clear anyway, so you don't see this kind of milky color that you're seeing right now. But this will get into all the little cracks, and you just wipe off the brush. You can get into more times. You can get into your vents this way. This is an important thing. A lot of people don't understand how do you clean those vents, and this is how you do it. Is you get your protectant on it and your cleaner on it, and then you use your brush, and your brush gets into all those little cracks. You can use a little camel hair paintbrush if you want to. You don't have to use exactly the same kind of brush that I have here. Just go down to a paint store though and find a good brush. It's fairly short bristled, and you can use that. Then the big spots, again, you wipe with your towel. Wipe it off, makes your dash look new. Gives it a nice natural sheen. You don't want an artificial sheen. Your dash didn't come that way. It came with a natural sheen. Get in there and get your slots. You can do that with your speaker grills for your stereo too. Get in there and clean it up. That's what the difference is in detailing, is people don't normally clean those things. You'll see all kinds of dust and dirt and things on the dashboards and on their speaker grills and on their air vents. And the secrets that you're learning now is what makes the difference and how you can make a lot of money in detailing cars and somebody that's just out trying to wash cars. And yet at the same time you can make some good money washing cars too. Certainly don't forget that. Whoa, I'm moving. Here's our ashtray, and we got a dirty ashtray in there. We want to take the ashtray out then and clean that out and wash that out. While we've got that out, we'll just clean the little ashtray container so we get that all nice and clean. You know, that's one of the things that a lot of these cleaners will help do, is if a person smokes in their car, which you can tell a person that smokes very easily, is that this will take a lot of that smoking smell out. And people like a non-smoking car. The important thing to remember when you're advertising is, if you've got a car that's a non-smoke owner car, advertise non-smoking owner. And people really, you'll be amazed at how much people are impressed by having a car that's never been smoked in. They don't want a car that's smoked in most times. There again, we're getting that. Come over and get the main part of the dash, the steering wheel. How's that looking? Here's my trouble spot, right down here by the parking brake. Gonna have to get down there and rub a little bit. I see it's coming off. It's coming off and it's looking like new. So, and I think I say in my manual that I enjoy detailing cars. I guess kind of vents my frustrations or something. But I enjoy doing it, and there's a pride in doing it. So it's kind of fun just doing it with my own cars, and of course I've done it for money, and you can do it for money. There's a bad spot there. I'm going to take a little bit more of the protectant. And most of these protectants are a protectant and a cleaner. So they'll clean pretty well too. Some of them you may have to have a special cleaner to go on first. There again, you can buy that right at your local automotive parts store. So nothing that we're using here is anything exotic or unusual that you can't get a hold of on a regular basis. It's all fairly simple materials that you can get a hold of and that are out in the market right now. As you get into it, if you get into it in a really full-time way, then you may want to go and buy it in larger quantities through another chemical company. I'm just doing a little detailing here on the seat belt where it says press, and cleaning that up a little bit because that was dirty. Try and get that as clean as we possibly can. Now another thing to use, which I'm not using right now but we'll use later, but another thing you can use on the interior of the car is a toothbrush, also for getting into hard to get spots, and that'll do a pretty good cleanup too. Okay, I'm going to wipe down the rest of the car and then we're going to go to the next section. Alright, now as I'm finishing up the interior, I'm doing the door jambs and the door panels, and that's what a lot of people forget to do, is to do the door jambs, and you want to do those all the way around here if you possibly can. Got this back door open here, but we just want to clean that. Spray it on there, let it sit for a little bit maybe, and then go around and wipe it off. You won't need your brush too much in here. Just use your towel, and any place that you miss, don't worry about it because it'll evaporate. It's good to get all these rubber seals as much as you can around the doors too. Again, it's good for the rubber. This is good for the rubber. It keeps the rubber to last longer. And believe me, if you've ever bought a door seal for a car, it's expensive. So you'll want to keep those looking as nice as you can. Just go over lightly. Once you've got it on your towel, go over these parts of the door jambs. Do the inside ones all the way around. Make it nice and clean. Just helps the car. The appearance makes it look better, and there again, it makes it look newer. People like that. They're willing to pay for that. They want their car to look new, even if they don't want to do it themselves. That's fine. Let them come to you and get your services. That's what you're offering, is a service for the people. Even in a mini detail, you would do this. Get the door jambs. Get them all down through here. Clean up nice. There's vinyl parts on the seats now that you see you missed. And this is the time that you can hit those parts too. Such as right down in here. Hit this part of the seat. Seat cover right down in there. spray it on and wipe it off. It's easy to do. Do the same thing on the back doors, and even do the same thing around the trunk. Now you can see our clean engine after we've sprayed the Preserval on it, so it's pretty nice and clean. It doesn't have to be brand new. People know that it's not a brand new car, but you just get it as clean as it possibly can, and that shows good care of the auto. And the thing that's good about a clean car is that people feel that if the engine compartment is clean, the door jambs are clean, and the trunk surfaces are clean, they feel then that, you know, that whoever had this car took some good care of it and was concerned about the car. And that's really what I'm trying to get you to learn, is the fact that if you show these type of items, then people are impressed by that. It's going to make the car, going to make your customer happy. I mean, for who knows why, it makes the car seem to drive better. I don't know, it's just psychological. But on top of that, for the used car dealers or person that's brokering a used car, it's going to really ensure that your customer feels confident that this car is in good shape from inside and out. And that's the reason that you do that. Okay, now we're going to go to our next step, which is actually putting some wax on the car. Now, as you can see, the finish on this automobile is really pretty good. There's a problem here with the hood. It's hard to tell on camera, but this hood has been repainted. And although it's a pretty good match, they couldn't get the clear that the factory put on the car when originally done. One of the other things to notice is right along here, you can tell if the car has been waxed here recently, because you can see the wax marks in there. They didn't get the wax marks out. And that's the difference between just waxing a car and detailing. So I'm going to use my secret weapon, as you can see here, which is just a regular toothbrush. And if you use this toothbrush, and toothbrush don't cost that much, it's a good secret weapon. Let me show you how this works. Okay, can you get down here so you get a shot of that? You can see that, just taking that off right now. Just takes all that white powder away. Now we'll probably have some more as we wax this hood again. And you might want to take the corner of your towel and kind of get it down inside there. But that takes it all away, so that a person can't tell that the car has just been recently waxed. So that's one of the things that you'll see is old wax on cars, and probably you've always wondered, how do I get it away from the car emblems and the car insignias and names around it? That's how you do it, is with a toothbrush. And we're going to use that toothbrush more when we finish up the car. But first, right now, let's start putting wax on the car. Now, there again, you use usually a damp rag to put the wax on. I'm using the Beauty Shine, but the Meguiar's is real good. You want a hard paste wax is what I'm trying to tell you. And this is a hard, and obviously, I've been using this for several years, and it's good wax. It's more expensive than ordinary, and you'll have to go to probably an automotive detail shop or look up in your yellow pages for a distributor of Beauty Shine products if you want to buy this, but it is good products, both by hand and machine products. They have a lot of new car dealerships use this, a lot of antique restorer people use Beauty Shine, and also the Meguiar's, which is available at any store. Meguiar's is real good. I used that for over, well, I don't know, 20 years or so, because I went to a school where the Meguiar people, their children went there, and so during my way through college, I earned my way through college working with cars. Just put the wax on good. Make sure that you got a nice amount of wax. And this Carnauba wax, the thing that I like about it is that it's very, very strong, even in hot heat. Now, I don't think that you want to necessarily apply your waxes in direct sunlight. As we've got right here, we've got a little bit of an overcast and a cloud. And that makes it nice to put it on, because also the temperature of the car is cool. And so you want that cool. Now we've got a car here with a sunroof, so we're really going to have to use our toothbrush when we come back to wipe it off in the sunroof, because we're going to get wax around the little felt sealer on that. But we start out with the hood just the same way as we did in washing the car, and we're going to follow it around, and the top of the car, I mean, not the hood, and then do the hood, and then we'll do the sides and on right around the car and get the car all waxed up. So we'll come back, and the other thing that you do after you've got this done is then you wipe it off, and I'll show you that in a moment. All right, I've got the top and the hood done because I'm so used to doing this, I can do it a lot quicker. Start with the top and then take the top off. Take it off with a towel, turning your towel. Now, one of the reasons that I want to tell you why I use a hard paste wax like this is because it'll last longer. Your soft, pre-softened waxes, sure, they're easier to put on and take off, but they don't last as long in the car. And what you need is protection for this paint. You know, the cosmetics of your car is it's far more valuable than the mechanics of your car. The mechanics of your car can be fixed very easily, but the cosmetics of your car are harder to fix. And people are going to praise the value of your automobile on the cosmetics more than mechanical, because mechanical can be fixed. So remember that for not only your own car, but your customer's car too. And if you're going into the detail business full time, this is a very good selling point, is that the cosmetics of the car is what's going to keep the value up, whether the car is a year old, 5 years old, or 15 years old. You look at some old antique cars that have been kept up, especially if they say that they're in original condition, they're worth a lot more money than even a restored one. So that's the importance of doing and keeping up the cosmetics of your car. As I say in the manual, in the written part, that just keeping your car clean like this will add $400 to $1,000 to $2,000, especially on a car like this BMW. It's going to add a lot of money to the selling price of it. Turn your towel so often, because this picks up the wax. I think you can start seeing now the shine that's coming across from me just doing this wax. Now, sometimes if you have a badly oxidized surface, which this car is not, you'd have to use a cleaner first. And you may even want to use a buffeter or an orbital buffeter. Now, the orbital buffeter is better because of the fact that it will not burn the paint, whereas your regular buffer can burn the paint. And you should really know how to use that properly before you start taking a good heavy-duty buffer to a person's car. Because if you're detailing the car and you burn through the paint, guess who's going to have to pay for the paint? That's right, you are. So you want to be careful there, and even the best buffers once in a while burn paint. So I think that if you want to use a machine, you should use an orbital buffer. Okay, next, after you've done the top and the hood, then come around and start going on the sides of the car. Make sure that you cover every little detail here. Get plenty of wax on the car. Don't be afraid to get the wax on the car. That's what you want to do. Right in there, especially in the door handles, where you'll find lots of scratches. You might have to rub a little bit hard. Okay, now we're going to get the sides. Get the sides of the car done here. Doesn't take long. The only thing I'll recommend is that you don't wear jeans with a hole in them like my jeans are. Got a hole in my knee, that hurts. I'm on the pavement like that. Just get plenty of wax in the car. There again, I really recommend that in most cases, if you can do it by hand, do it by hand. The machine takes a lot of time to learn, and certainly you can learn it. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but you want to be very careful, especially on an expensive car, because to repaint this car would cost you easily $2,000 to $3,000. So you want to be very, very careful, especially when it's not your car that you're working with a customer's car. But just what we've done today, what you're seeing on this tape right now, is improving the value of this car at least $1,000. I'd say minimum $1,000. And it's kind of a diamond in the rough. It's cleaning up very well. And of course, if we wanted to take more time and really bring out that hood, we could wet sand the hood with about, say 800 sandpaper. And that's something that you have to learn, and I really suggest, if you want to experiment with that, go down and buy a car at the towing company for $100. It's got an oxidized finish on it, and try that. Now, whereas this car is a metallic paint also, that would be hard to do. Once you oxidize a metallic paint, it's pretty hard to get them to come back, but it is possible in some cases to do that. Okay, I've got this. I'm going to go ahead and do the trunk and do the rest of the car, and then we're going to wipe it off and go to our next step. I think you can basically see what we're talking about now in putting wax on the car. Just putting the wax on, letting it have a chance to dry a little bit, soak up, and then taking back and taking it off with your terry cloth towel. Terry cloth towels, incidentally, these towels are easy to get a hold of. If you can't find them from your regular automotive show or store, then just go down to a rag. Look under the yellow pages under rags. And usually those places have a lot of towels, and they're cheaper there too. So you don't need to use your good bathroom towels. Go down to a rag, or Goodwill Industries is another place to get good towels, and you can get good terry cloth towels pretty inexpensively there, and of course they just wash again in your own washing machine right at home. You know, excuse me for being out of breath, but you know, one of the things that is important here is that you can see that we're doing this right in a residential neighborhood. So you don't have to have any high overhead or a fancy store or business setup to conduct your detail business. You can do it right from your home or right on a street corner or in a service station lot. You could even do it in a parking lot downtown for people. And there's another way that you can keep your overhead low and your profits higher. And that's what this opportunity is designed to do. Okay, one of the last things that you're going to do when you get through waxing the car is you're going to really get into the detailing part, which is cleaning the bumpers and all the black parts on the car here so that those will look like new again. One of the things that I use sometimes on a bumper is 0000 fine steel wool, because this is very good. It'll not hurt or scratch the bumper, but it will take off any like water spots and little pieces of rust it'll take off and things of that sort and make it look a lot nice. So use that all the way around any of the shiny parts. It's a good thing to use on the car. It's another secret in detailing. Just use it around there very lightly. You can see how it works on that, on any of the bright trim that the car has, especially if it's aluminum or chrome. If it's plastic, then you want to be very, very careful of what you use on it because you can scratch it. And then once you've got that done, then take, again, your protectant and spray it on the black parts. And once you've got it going, you got to get a little pressure up here. Get it sprayed in there, then you'll wipe that down either again with your towel, your toothbrush, or your detail brush. You can even put it on your license plate. Make your license plate frame come out a little bit better. There we go. All around your rubber parts. Do that all the way around the car. Headlights, make sure you get your headlights clean, your parking lamps. Won't hurt any of that. It's all good for your car. And you just come back around with the towel. Don't forget underneath here too, your parking lights underneath here if the car has it, or your air dam. Spray every bit of it, and then go back and wipe it off with your towel. Oh, I'm not getting very much juice here. Okay, that's enough. You got it? Okay. Again, when you're finishing up detailing the car, part of the detailing process is getting this toothbrush out and your protectant and going around all the little rubber trims around the light. So just spray some quick ones around there, just real quick. Around there is wherever you can see the little rubber parts. And then take your toothbrush and just scrub around that. That'll get all the old wax or the wax that you've got on it from waxing the car, and that'll take it off and clean that up. All the little cracks. Then take your towel, take a clean towel again, rub that off. Comes out real nice and black. Again, it looks natural, the way that the car came from the factory. And at the same time, while you're down there doing that, then it's the time that you can start doing the tires. And you just spray your protectant around the tires, all the way around like this. Good. Let it bead up there, that's okay. And then just wipe your tire off. It gives it a nice natural shine. You don't want an artificial shine. Sometimes you'll see them painted with brake fluid and things like that. You don't need to do that. It's not necessary to do that. Just give that tire a good running around there. Get inside the wheel. If you get some spots inside the wheel, go around the wheel well real quick like that, and there you've got it. Then, as you get down, such as trim that's on the car for protecting the doors, there again, that you need your toothbrush in there. Just squirt a little of the protectant there. That helps loosen some of the old wax that may have been in there for years. And just run your towel over it again, because this protectant will not hurt the wax that's on your car anyway. So you can just run it over there and then go up the seams of the car also. In between there, get it all nice. Comes out nice and clean. Down at the bottom here, your toothbrush gets a little dry. Spray some protectant on it. Just brush it. Just work that old toothbrush all the way around. And do that surrounding the car Once you've got all that done, you'll be amazed at how nice that makes that car look. Now, again, with your steel wool, if you've got your steel wool in the hand, polish the chrome on your mirrors here. This will take off the little road spots. Be very careful. Make sure that you're using the triple O fine steel wool. You'll be amazed at how that shines that up. And wipe that off with your cloth. Every little bit of your car can be cleaned up. It doesn't take long, and it gets to be a challenge to see if you can clean up a spot that you didn't think would come off. This little trim around the windows will sometimes get real dull, but you'll be amazed at how with the steel wool, it'll bring it right back up to shining again. One of the big places that you get wax on, is right around the door handles here. So that's another place to get your toothbrush out and just scrub real well. The toothbrush still got enough of the protectant on it, so I don't need to spray any more of that on it right now. Just get all the way around those handles. Now I'm going to continue doing this, and then we're going to go to the last step in detailing your cars, in detailing for retail. Okay, our last and final step in detailing a car is cleaning the windows. We saved that towards the last. We've done everything. We've cleaned the engine, we've washed the car, we've waxed the car, we've done the interior, we've done the little detail points, but the last thing is cleaning the windows. And the secret in cleaning windows is using newspaper. Now that may sound unconventional to you, but if you use newspaper, the ink on the newspaper acts as a little bit of a scrubber. And so that takes all the water spots and things of that off. And I use just a little glass cleaner that's got ammonia in it, and it's real good for doing that. So simply, again, just spray it on. It'll foam up a little bit, and take your newspaper and just scrub that around. And that just really makes your glass real nice and clean. And you do this on the outside of the glass as well as on the inside. You have to turn it over once in a while, and you'll see how the print has smeared on there. But that just gets the glass really super good and clean. And that's the last thing that you do in detailing your car. So when you've completed that, then you've completed the total detail on your car. You have detailed for retail. Now, this car, normally if I was doing a detail on this for a customer, I would charge anywhere from $150 to $250 for the car. When you're starting out, I suggest you start out at $39.95 or $49.95. Get your business going and built up. Then you can add more customers, and when you get too many customers for your time, you raise your prices. Or as your expertise grows, you raise your prices. It's really not that hard of a job. Totally, doing this car took about 2.5 hours. It wasn't that long, but then I've been doing it for years and years and years, and the more you do, the easier it'll become for you. I hope that you'll take this tape and watch it over and over again, or listen to it over and over again if you're listening on audio, and follow these steps. Take this tape with you when you do your first detail, so you'll know step by step how to go through this. Now, don't forget when you're vacuuming out the car to vacuum the total car inside and also the trunk areas. Then take your towel at very last, even after you've cleaned the windows, and go around and make sure that you've hit every spot, that there's nothing missing, so that when your customer comes to pick up the car or you deliver the car to the used car dealer, you've got the car in tip-top, brand new looking shape. And there again, as I said before, by just detailing a car, doing this process that we did today, you're going to make that car more valuable. It's going to retain its worth and be worth maybe $400 to $1,000, maybe even $2,000 more than it was when you first started with it. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your detailing opportunities.